Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for letting me come online with my quarantine hair. All of us have wigs.
Just put it on. Not everybody knows, so shh. You're both friends. They're not quite sure, and I haven't quite figured out how to say. I paid for it.
Oh my god.
So, but my hair under this, oh my god, it needs help. So I can't wait for my cameras and everything to be done tightly.
Mm-hmm.
At least I've learned to kind of learn how to do my own hair. So that's a bonus.
Oh really?
In terms of my hair, yeah. My hand aches, so I'm getting used to doing that. What have you done during this quarantine season? What have you
doing?
Yeah, what have you taken up a new skill at all? Have you had to do something that you normally call someone to do?
I haven't had time to take up a new skill. I was busy working. Developing series, movies, working on pre-production. So yeah, there hasn't been time for a skill, to be honest. I just know now I can be a good housewife. At least now I know.
You didn't think you could be a good housewife before?
I didn't think I'd stay at home for this long, but now I know that I can. So at least my marriage is sorted. If anything doesn't work out.
Do you know what I find about in terms of when people talk about housewives? I think there's an expectation we've placed on ourselves. There's this thing that people have put out there, you should be like this in order to be this. And my theory is, one day, by God's grace, if I get there, when I get there, it's based on what works for my husband and I. I don't think it should be based on people's expectations. It's what works within your household, right?
Yeah, that point.
It's a partnership.
Yeah. I mean, I have a supportive husband, so
amazing.
Right now as well. Baby, go and watch anime. You don't need to watch me on live. Thank you.
Thank you for those who've just joined. I'm talking to Mimi Bartels. Is that how I say your surname?
Yes, correct.
Yes. And she is head of production at FilmOne. FilmOne Nigeria is distribution company, as well as they have a chain of cinemas in Nigeria. They've been championing the cinema-going culture in Nigeria. It's grown since you guys have taken over, it has grown considerably. How many years has FilmOne? What did you say?
I don't want to be that, it's Film House and FilmOne that came to take over the industry. I think as a whole, we've kind of grown together. Let's put it that way.
Okay, she's been diplomatic. So Mimi has been in the industry for over 10 years, right?
Yes.
And Mimi and I first met actually Paris at Nollywood.
When I was a young enthusiastic filmmaker. Well, I didn't know I was going to be a filmmaker then. I was a filmmaker, I thought I knew what I was doing. But then again, you come to these things and pretend you know what you're doing. I was just like, that's how I was. Well, the Niger babe, you have to
hustle your way through.
Exactly.
Yeah. I need to get some of that. But yeah. So Mimi and I connected since then, and we've been in contact on and off actually. Since what was that? 8 years ago, I think.
Yeah, about 2011. So it's about about 9 years now. Yeah.
Wow. We meet everyone in Paris, Esther, someone says. I seem to meet everyone. The last person I met, Auntie Missy Wada, when we were in Cannes. You know how we do.
I met a few people at Paris, actually. I mean, it's not only Esther, so please.
So tell us a little bit about you. So how you got into all of this. So was it exactly 9 years ago that you got into this, or did your journey start way before I met you in Paris?
To be honest, it was actually around 9 years ago. I think I was a typical Nigerian child trying to have one of those professions that make the parents happy. So I was aiming to be a banker. Like I already was working in a bank, and I had this 5-year plan. I was gonna go from associate to that. And then I worked in the bank for like a year, and I just thought to myself, like, this.
Was that in the UK or Nigeria?
Well, that was Nigeria. So I moved back to Nigeria 2007. Yeah, 2007.
Yeah.
I thought I can't do this. Then I moved back to the UK. Then when I was there, I was like, okay, I can't do this. And I moved back to Nigeria. So I ended up working. I ended up doing my NYC in Oceanic Bank. And then when I was there, I always found like women were always having issues if it's not with their relationships, like the pregnancy. And I was like, no, this can't be life. So I decided to go into writing. So in 2010, I worked on the movie. No, I didn't work on it personally. I joined the team after they had worked on the movie Inale. I think that's starred Caroline, Chikezie, Hakim K. Kazim, Maumi, a few, Nollywood folks. So I worked on it as a marketing executive. So I was working then with KK Bongos. She was So from there, the movie was like the only like musical box office film then. So to be honest, I've kind of started my career doing things that were out of the norm for the Nigerian market. So from there, that's how we ended up going to Nollywood Paris, blah blah blah. And then I also thought to myself, okay, because I was in Abuja then, and everybody knows that Lagos is like the hub of things. So I ended up getting like a civil service job. That was in broadcasting. And then, funny enough, I met my husband in Abuja. Then he moved to Lagos, and then I followed him. So yes, I followed man to Lagos. And so I ended up. So funny enough, I went to visit a colleague, a friend of mine, because I worked on When Love Happens. A film by Shea Babatokwe. I did like the marketing in Abuja because I met Kenneth before, like a long time ago. So I went to Lagos. I just went to visit. Actually, I feel really bad because I went there on the guys to pitch the company I was working with then. Then when I got there, I was like, oh, you guys work with this company. It's called Spinlet. They're into music, blah, blah, blah. And then, they just ended up saying to me, like, Mimi, why aren't you working here? And I was like,
oh, wow.
Okay. So, I handed in my resignation. And 1 week later, I ended up at FilmOne. And that was 2015. Yeah, that's how it was. And, I didn't go to school for distribution.
No.
I didn't go to school for production. I just I literally got thrown in like a 5-year-old in a swimming pool, and I was like, flap your hands and swim. So literally from like day one, April 20th, 2016, it has been film for me.
Okay. So what was your first role at FilmOne?
So I actually literally started from like the bottom. Okay, maybe it was like admin and then me. So I started out as the assistant operations manager. Then there was a lady before me, Mrs. B, as we call her.
Mrs. B.
Yeah, that's what we call her. Funny enough, the first day I got in, my boss then, Moses he's still my boss now. He had traveled, and then she told me that she was traveling as well. So take care of the department. And I was like,
okay.
So that was like, I just literally got thrown into the deep end then. So I started as the assistant operations manager, having to carry a department while my bosses were not there, and I had no experience in distribution. And I literally had to start from zero and then climb my way to where I am now.
Oh, wow. So what was your first distribution? What was your first distribution then?
Ghana Must Go.
Ghana Must Go. I think Ghana Must Go. Who is in Ghana Must Go?
That was Yvonne Okoro.
Okay.
From Chukwujeku. I felt very proud of that film. That was the first film like I ever worked on. Yeah. I remember when I got like the trailer for it, and I was like, nah, this can't be it. Like, no, I can't do this. So it was like I got the poster, so we had to like revamp everything. And I don't think people understand truly what it takes to market a film. Yeah. People really, it's very different. It's not like marketing Omo or Ariel or like freaking Instagram. Like, it's very different. So it was every single thing I had learned from watching film, from what I thought marketing was, I had to implement it at that time. So to be honest, if you have like a skill, and to be honest, I guess it's until you're thrown into the deep end before you really realize what it is you can do. So we had to literally like change every asset and everything. I mean, the movie ended up making like 35 million. I just saw like a Ghanaian film, so I felt really good, and I felt okay, I could really do this. So I never forget. And I think, funny enough, today was the day it was released. Funny enough,
Really?
yeah, that is so weird. You actually, today was actually, yeah. Today is actually the day.
Is there anywhere we can watch it? Is it still on anywhere?
I don't think it's been on any VOD platforms, but it was a video. Now that you said it, okay, I think I'm gonna.
Ghana must go.
There's some money to be made there.
Exactly, because I think what people forget is there's a whole lifeline of films, right? You can continue to make money years after years, but the problem we have is, as we were talking about, is the distribution pipeline. And what people don't understand is the amount of work it takes to get it over here to us in the UK diaspora. Now, people like Disney, Sony, their budget for marketing is almost as big as the budget for the film.
Yeah.
And we don't have the money.
The interesting thing, it's so funny you said that, because I remember like when I started out, I remember like this one guy came to me, it was so hilarious. I wouldn't say the name of the film. I mean, who knows where this live is going to go to?
Yeah.
And, like it was just after we had released Wedding Party.
Yeah. And, Wedding Party 1 or 2?
Wedding Party 1.
Okay.
Which was interesting that like my first year in film was, and I had like Wedding Party on my head. That was So I remember he said to me like, "Oh, I'm gonna make like wedding party money. I have the next wedding party," and I was like, "Fantastic." And I was like, "What's your marketing budget?" And he says 1 million naira, and I'm like, "Really?"
Yeah.
Really? I mean, what's that in pounds? Like 4,000 pounds. So you can imagine. So obviously that didn't do anything. Because we had a premiere to do, which I think like 400,000 went into that. And it was interesting. But then people don't even realize the amount of marketing money that went into Wedding Party 1.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is me. So people don't even realize the amount of marketing money. So every time I tell the producer, that honestly, if you have a budgeted film of 40 to 60 million, try and put at least 20 million of that money. Half of that into that. And they always go, I'm like, I don't.
It's like my voice
making a film is not just for your family and friends.
No.
I keep saying this thing. So if you post it on your Instagram and you post it on your Facebook, and you have like 200 comments, don't actually think that this movie is going to make like all the money in the world. Not everybody is on these platforms. So obviously you have to keep pushing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's different for us, obviously. Like when the big studios are doing it, they have to think of continents when they are doing their marketing. For us, we just have to think about states. So every time we even market the products, we have to think about how do we appeal to each of these regions. So you still have Southwest to think about. And obviously, if you know Nigeria very well, we are, bless us, we're one of the most pretentious lots, if anything. Yes, we are, and that's a different,
Yeah.
And then different people or different people are drawn to different things. So like Ali Nuhu is like big in Kano, but like in Lagos, if I put Ali Nuhu on my poster, it's not going to draw that much attention. So you have to start making marketing assets that actually appeal to all these different states. So there's a lot that actually comes in to marketing of.
Do they differ a lot? Because I think when we're talking about distribution here and going to Africa, there's a concept or there's a illusion that Africa is the same, where we have so many languages. It's very different. So the question is, Nigeria, do the states differ each time, or are they more or less the same?
To be honest, we're trying new things. Nollywood evolves, and to be honest, we're like 180 million people, and we only had, I think about last year was about 5.8 million or so that went into the cinema. And to be honest, that's probably like repeat visits. Anyways, like we're not even sure like if that's like single lots or whatever. So I think I just lost my train of thought now. What was I talking about?
In terms of the different states,
right. Yeah, so we have to keep trying. Sorry, we have to keep trying different things. So, like for example, like a movie that was meant to have come out, but COVID-19, Fate of Alakada, we actually dubbed it into Hausa. So we could have so we've only ever really stuck to like English titles, but now we're even trying to go into like dubbing. So to be honest, if we're releasing like a trailer in like the south and the north, we try and make it Igbo. Even if we don't make it Igbo, we try and like at least have. And to be honest, a lot of producers are getting better in terms of the marketing, because even in the films, they would have like different actors like speak different languages. So when they're cutting the trailer, like in the Yoruba states, like they would be able to put in that Yoruba bit in there. If it's Igbo land, so everybody's getting creative. So yes, it does differ a lot of the time. Actually, most of the time we try to appeal to each state, in terms of marketing and stuff that we do. Yeah.
Sam Blankson, he's a director, editor, he just said he did the trailer for Ghana Must Go.
Oh, really? I mean, that the one. Over there, yeah. I'm so sorry, I changed it when it came to Nigeria. Apologies.
But I think that's a good point, and that's the point that I made when I came to see you guys. That in terms of trailers, Nigeria. I don't know if anybody else on this platform agrees with me. Some trailers that come from Nigeria don't always necessarily appeal to us here in the UK. There has to be a way that you have to adapt it to suit the UK audience, because I think we're a little bit more, I don't know, I don't want to sound, what's the word? I think what we're used to seeing, it's very different from what maybe Nigerians are used to seeing. If that makes sense.
Because we always have to change, whenever we're releasing a movie in the UK, we always have to change the trailer.
Yeah.
And we always find that we need to, even in terms of like the information, into the trailer is always a lot. And sometimes we even have to put like a UK flag like swimming in there. And I'm like, I don't know if it's UK, but like, we do, like, it's crazy. So we always have to adapt to Nigeria. How do you have?
Hi, I do. Rejoice says, I agree. The trailers can be better even for Nigerian audiences.
Yes, I mean, there's only so much we can do, because people need to remember, like, FilmOne originally started as a distribution house.
Yeah.
And then we moved into production. So to be honest, like we have better control now that we're into production. So we've kind of understood the market. We now understand what appeals to people, because people actually don't realize that we failed a lot before we actually got here. So we have to do a lot. Sorry?
That's the best way, isn't it? You keep trying different methods.
But, people just think we just got here and like, I mean, people just think that we just got here and like, number one distributor and production. Like, no, we went through a lot to get to this position. So we had to learn how to appeal to people. The amount of focus groups that we even have just before we even release content. Like, I'm sure my colleagues are in this group. Like, when we have a poster, we have like 5 different groups. I have to send it to each group. What do you think about this poster? What do you think about that poster? What do you think about this trailer? And the truth is that everybody's going to have something different. But ultimately, if you come to the end and you feel like you appeal to at least 70% of that group, then yes, release it and go forth. But we were trying to be better anyways.
Okay, Sam says the issue is the structure of the trailers from then. They didn't set up the story well, but they are pretty good now. So the story setting up is pretty good now, which is something I actually learned in terms of during my course as well, how I had to literally watch a film and pick out what is it that I want to tell. Is it from the protagonist's perspective? Is it from those around him or her? How am I going to sell this? And who is the target audience? That's another thing. Do you guys actually sit down and, the process of who is our target audience? Who are we trying to appeal? Who do we need to come?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I mean, that's a different, I don't know how long we have.
We have an hour. Do you mind coming back afterwards? I don't know how we're going to go. But you don't have to touch on that, but that's a process you guys go through.
Yeah. I mean, it is, to be honest, like, people don't even realize that a lot of movies that we get to distribute, we end up cutting the trailers for them. But obviously, we're not gonna like take the glory or anything because like ultimately we're only here to make money. So we also have to watch the films, pick out these parts that you said, or even when we get the trailers, we have to rearrange it again because the truth of the matter is some movies have great stories and don't have the best trailers. And to be honest, some movies are bad and they have the best trailers. It's just all about like how you appeal to the market. I mean, it's a science. That's the God honest truth. It truly is a science. But that's a whole different conversation.
Okay. So another question I have is African content. What is the importance of having our own narrative?
You know, it's funny that you asked this question because I had like a conversation last week with some Americans about it, and I was like, okay.
So Timmy wants to be like you.
No, who am I in the long run? The truth of the matter is, it's so important for us to have a narrative because I honestly don't even feel like we're represented enough in Hollywood, especially because to be honest, Hollywood like really wants to come into this market. And every time I have a conversation with the Hollywood executive or someone in the market, I always say like it's important for you to understand our language and understand how we speak and understand what we care about. Because the truth of the matter is, a lot of movies are making money now. It's very simple, and I always tell film producers this: whenever you make a film, all you have to do is make sure it's relatable. As long as you connect to someone, then obviously your movie is going to be more, more successful. So in terms of us having our own narrative, I can't even. I get so emotional about it because I get very angry sometimes when I see certain films and what they do. And the matter is, if we don't do it ourselves, if we don't get up and say we are the ones to tell these stories, Hollywood is going to keep doing their own version of what they think who they think we are. I mean, when it's like simple things like Google, but then you, oh God, I'm because I just remembered. I just remember the series I watched where there was, or was it a film? I can't remember. There was a Kenyan, but he had a Nigerian accent or a West African accent. And I was like, it wouldn't have been that hard to like Google these things. So I mean, this is why I don't like doing these interviews because I get so passionate about it.
I really want people to see your passion. You're one of the few people who are in the background that people don't see enough of, and you're doing great things. You know,
we like to in the background. We love the background. But yeah, no. To be honest, I'm very for pushing our narratives, and honestly, like even all these series and movies we're working on is just for that, to just make sure that the international market understands that this is who we are and we're not going away. Like we are more than rusted roofs and half-naked children on the road. But more than that, we have skyscrapers. A lot of us are educated, so it's important for us to get up ourselves and actually write and tell our stories, if anything.
Exactly. So I spoke to Auntie Emissy Wilder last week, and one of the things that came up was that at times we're not authentic in our storytelling. Is that changing, and would you agree with that statement?
What is authentic?
Like in terms of sometimes it can come across as a little bit westernized, like trying to be American.
Honestly, I don't think that's fair to say, because just because I have a Western experience doesn't make me less African. I don't think that's particularly fair, because there are things that I experienced that were very Western, and I want to tell the story about it, but I'm telling it from a point of view of an African. And the truth of the matter is that there are many situations, there are many things that happen that some people can relate to, and that's literally why the word subjective was created. It's your point of view. So I actually don't agree with that. I don't think every African story has to be about a woman who was in the village with a pot that was, and like, she had, her child was in the river or something. No, I mean, I'm an African woman who dated, and I went through things, and I have cocktail hour when I don't drink like that. I hang out with my girlfriends, and what if I want to tell this story? So no, I think as long as it's an African telling a story, then that's what's authentic to that person. That's what's relative to that person and their friends. So no, I don't believe that. Exactly.
Where do you think we are today, and what can be improved?
So in what? Because this question, like you're talking to a.
Okay, let's say in terms of, for me personally, I think when we talk about production, you're head of production. Let's narrow it down to production. My personal experience of watching in the past is that production qualities have been quite low, and you can actually identify those who are on top of the ladder. Like Kulia Fola, for example, some of his films, okay, but in terms of production-wise, they're great. Do you understand? And some productions, it's like, oh gosh, what's going on here? Wasn't there enough research done? Why do we have this? King of Boys I loved, but there was elements of King of Boys that I think it could have been researched better to ensure that we had a better delivery.
I mean, to be honest, we have progressed a lot. I can only speak from my side, and mostly because I don't want to get any hate mail after this. The amount of work that goes into scripting alone these days is actually intense. And I think every producer that I ended up working with tries to be better than the last one. And I think most Nigerians don't understand, because the truth of the matter is we are so critical. And to be honest, it's good, because we tend to criticize Hollywood movies. I think Nigerians are a bit cruel sometimes when it comes to Hollywood movies, because people have to understand that Hollywood has a budget. They don't have a budget. They have a budget. We have millions of dollars, and we have films that are like barely trying to do like $100,000. And when you even hear that, you're like, wow, okay, this person has some money, and then goes into $200,000. I'm like, and the thing is, like, how many cinemas do we even have? Okay, let's even step back. How many people are actually patronizing Nigerian movies in the cinema? I mean, we thank God for things like Wedding Party and Chief Daddy, Sugar Rush, and all these films. Actually, they do those numbers, but you guys don't even understand the budget of what it even takes to do these films. So, as much as we want to use like the best red and the best Ari and the lot, we don't actually have the budget to hit these things. So everything that we deliver to you now is what we're doing in the situation that we are in. You don't even understand, like, when we, because I mean, now I'm like sitting on production seat and I see it, and you're like, I need a location. Oh God, who do I know? That's what.
In Nigeria, for example, here the companies who are location.
I didn't get that. Sorry.
Are there any companies that are specifically geared to looking for location for people? Do you have to go out and search yourself?
I mean, you typically have a location manager on set, but to be honest, those are like high, like the sets that I guess are like the high budget ones. But to be honest, it all boils down to, I know a friend that knows a friend that can hook me up with these things. And that's why, to be honest, a lot of producers' budgets go higher, because they just rather allocate money for locations just so that you're not stuck. And to be honest, what I've even found, I mean, to be honest, my first film, I kind of like dipped my toe in the water a bit, was Sugar Rush. Like, that's like the first film I went on set and I stayed for like more than 2 hours. And I saw what it entailed. Like, a lot of these times, a lot of things don't work out the way you expect it to. So even like there's an ending that you wanted, somehow maybe you lost daylight because something didn't happen properly on set, or what do you call it? The location fell through, or what do you call it? Somebody didn't bring the light, and they had to literally change a scene. Like the second film I worked on, or like the third one, I literally had to change the whole script, like there, because I was lacking something. So as much as we try, and we really are trying to deliver. I see Isioma has joined this chat, so she's probably like going like, I was just having this conversation with her, and I was like, we have to do better. We have to be better. And we really are trying to be better. But honestly, if we just need people to patronize us more. And I feel like but the thing is, I also hear the argument as well, that is there content in the cinema that would allow me to patronize you? But the thing, what I find interesting is that when these movies now come out on Netflix, they perform like way better. So is it like you couldn't just give up your 1,000 or 2,000 naira?
And it's so cheap in Nigeria. When I had my first cinema experience early this year, and I was like, I think it was like 500 or 1,000 naira for cinema. And not only that, they give you popcorn and a drink. And that's one of the most expensive things here in the UK when you're going.
Yep. You know, I mean, to be honest, every time I travel, I'm like, nah, wait for it in Nigeria. Like, because, you know, the ticket prices are like, woof. You know, you think, oh, I'm not going to use my Primark money to go to the cinema when I can just watch it in Nigeria. So, no. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's a lot. And the thing is, like, Nigerians can hold that 2,000 naira, like, so, like, oh, my hard work, 2,000 naira. I'm like, guy, you're going to probably spend on, like, Domino's Pizza and, like, Domino's Pizza. Yeah. So the truth is, like, are we giving them content that would even patronize them more? And honestly, that's, like, our mandate for this year and, like, the next, like, 5 years to just give Nigerians quality content at this point.
Okay. So in terms of where you were in because you were doing distribution first, and earlier on we touched on Netflix. When you and I spoke, what is your opinion, being diplomatic, in terms of Netflix? And like you said, it goes to Netflix, and then the viewing figures go right up the roof. But yet the amount of money they pay is little compared to other content that they're buying.
So, sorry, you're asking me what I think about Netflix?
Yeah, in general, in terms of, you know, the asking price. Is it fair? Is it not fair? Could they do better?
I think it's quite fair. I mean, would I like people to come to the cinema? Yes, I would. But to be honest, platforms like Netflix, and I shouldn't even say like Netflix, platforms that is Netflix have actually like pushed our content like way further than we have tried in the last 4 years, because we get a lot of feedback. I have like people in Trinidad and Tobago who like reach out to me and like, oh, I can't wait for this movie's coming out on Netflix, and I'm like, I wish people are as enthusiastic here about it. So it's actually pushing our content like way more than we ever expected it to do. And to be honest, I feel like Netflix is really, they've really shown commitment. I mean, they had this whole like premiere here in Nigeria for Queen Sono, which is not even Nigerian content, but they're like proper showing that we're coming to Africa and we're here to stay. And I mean, they're commissioning series left and right. So honestly, I feel like Netflix is one of those things, or one of those platforms that we dreamed of to come and push our content even further. Because the truth of the matter is, because of Netflix and because of content that they are seeing on Netflix, Hollywood is actually paying more attention to us. And they feel like if you could just do this with your minimal budgets, what could you do with something even more? So yeah, I mean, and to be honest, like Netflix is keeping most of us alive and kicking during this quarantine. Like that's what we're tuning into at this point. So yeah, I mean, well, can Netflix do more? Yes. Are they aiming to do more? Yes. Can we as Nigerians do more to support our content? Yes. But ultimately, Netflix has come to stay. And to be honest, Netflix are very respectful of our cinema window. And for most people who don't get what that is, it's usually like that's the space between the theatrical distribution as they go into cinema and then going to the platform there. I mean, look at Lionheart, for example. I mean, they allowed it to have its run in the cinema because, I mean, at that time, not many Nigerians were on Netflix, so at least they gave it the opportunity to go in there. So they're very respectful for that.
But wasn't there a little bit of a controversial thing about that? Because maybe we'll have another conversation about it, because I know here in the UK, they're not really a fan of Netflix productions or Netflix entirely owned content to go into cinema for a limited period, because we have windows, right? There's a certain time where you have your theatrical release and then you give it 16 weeks before it can then go on export.
So the controversy with Lionheart, to be honest, was not about it coming to cinema. It was just more about the way it came into cinema. Okay. Because, I mean, typically we book films like way in advance. Like most people, I mean, look at like Black Panther has a date. Like all these movies kind of like have a date. So you have a conversation with the cinemas and you all agree on this is the date. So I mean, with the distributor, at the time, which was FilmOne, there was a date for this film. But there's usually like that space that you give. So you don't come like in December and say, oh, I want to release a movie at this time. When the people who have done the needful, they've given like 3 months, 4 months, they've been advertising their film, and then you just come in on December 3rd saying you want to release December 20th. Like, that's just not how it's done. So that was a controversy. But, trust Nigerians to like, or trust the press rather to like make it more than it was. So yeah, that was what it was, to be honest. So I think Netflix actually, I think she actually had quite at least from September, October, she could have actually released in cinema. So it was just at the time that was chosen.
Okay, she had a good run. I'm going to go to questions because we have like 20 minutes left. I'm going to do some questions, and in the last 10 minutes, we'll talk about your recent projects because you've recently dipped your toe into producing, which we're excited to hear about. So, some of the questions here is, everyone's like, yeah, go Mimi, practically. Let me see, there was one, okay, Sam said, Alpha Standard Media, should I refer to actually, said, how important is script supervising?
Oh my God, it's so important. To be honest, like, for me, it's like is the most important thing. My colleagues here will probably be like, yeah, Mimi is a bit crazy about like script. Because the truth of the matter is, we don't want to repeat the same mistakes. Because I always say, like, you repeat the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. That's insanity. So if I see that most people that enjoyed this film had a problem with like the story and how we connected, then yeah, I'm gonna spend 2 months, 3 months to make sure that script is ready to go before it hits the production. So it's very important. At least it's very important for FilmOne. Anyway, I can't speak for every producer that lives in Nigeria or in diaspora, but it's very important. We take it very seriously.
And does FilmOne tend to get involved at script stage as opposed to a finished product?
Oh yeah, yeah. Most people don't actually realize that about us. Like, so, we have like different aspects in production. So we do production consultancy as well. So people that come to us, and so we even prefer to just even work with just an idea. So then we can now develop it and go from that to synopsis, to treatment. I've done it a few times. So most people that actually want distribution come to us. Oh Lord, this Yama, you couldn't, like, why you gotta be like this though? Okay. Yeah, so most people that come to us for distribution, sometimes they actually submit scripts and say, like, I have this script going to development. And to be honest, I was a sucker for that before. Like, I would read script and I would love it. I remember this one script I fell in love with, and I was like, you know what, letter of intent now, go in there. But then the execution is always the problem. So, and that's like a major thing that you said when it came to like production quality as well. So like, we always prefer to then see the finished product. That's for distribution. But yes, before we used to get into like that script level. But if you're coming to us now, that would be more of a production consultancy thing, or a co-production situation, or a script review process as well in that. So yeah, we do get involved in that.
Okay. And then figures from Nigeria alone. Okay, in terms of Netflix figures, I think you answered this question already. Netflix don't give data, from my understanding. They don't tell you that you had 100,000 views today, 20,000 at the end of the month. So what you have is people reaching out to you from different parts of the world to have you gauge that people are actually watching, right?
Yeah. I mean, from what I even understood from Netflix is, I want to respect. I mean, then I was like, oh, why don't we get the figures? Let's know what we're doing.
Yeah.
From what I understood is that they actually are very for the filmmaker. They are very, it's about the filmmaker. It's not about the corporate bodies. It's not about the studios. It's about this person. And then when a lot of them came from television, and then they would always say, oh, this show didn't have the highest ratings, so it was taken off. So because of that, they stopped putting like figures, or they did not put figures out there because it's just mainly about the content and about that filmmaker. So only they know what it is, and they know what people want to see and all that business. So which I truly respect. I mean, until top 10 came to Nigeria, so that's like the closest you get now to knowing what it is in terms of things. So everybody's like scrambling on that number one position. But yeah, I can't answer that. That's a Netflix question.
Okay. And then you have to do your own marketing, right?
Oh yeah, every time. I mean, like, even when like the poster is coming out, there's marketing just for that. So yeah, we still do marketing for when it gets to VOD platform. It doesn't stop just there, because obviously you want to keep a relationship going as well, and you want people to always come back and know that this is the prime company to go with in terms of distribution and production. So yeah, you're gonna push it. And obviously, like Netflix wants to be in this market, and they're already taking tested IP. That's cinema movies that already went to the cinemas and did well or did fairly well. Then yeah, like put some marketing behind it so that you can get more people coming, and then Netflix will invest more into our market. So yeah, we'll keep marketing and marketing.
Okay. Bami Gay, I think, said Netflix is a blessing to Nigerian movie industry. And then my brother says shout out to you guys. Thanks, bro. Tilly Shot said script supervision is the heart of it all. I think so. And here as well in the UK, they take that really seriously. It's just that at times, from script stage and then to actual development, sometimes things can go a little bit pear-shaped. You're like, okay, what happened? This was a great script, and then now, So there's an importance of having a great director as well, who's on the same page in terms of visualizing whatever's on paper. Yassi said, what is Mimi's process from development to production? I think, Mimi, you covered that, but if you want to maybe take one or two steps.
Process from, I feel like it's like a long process, but especially for me. But I mean, I'll try and
summarize.
So, which is weird. Whenever like we're developing a story, I don't cast immediately in my head, which a lot of people tend to do. We always try to like make sure like the story is perfect, like the script is perfect. And to be honest, it can never be perfect, because when you go on set, things change as well. So we completely go from tightening of the script, and then for me, that's when my pre-production starts. I start like, I don't even consider script as pre-production, although yes, it is, but I don't consider it as that. So after like we finish dealing with the script, then I now go to like the next major thing for me is casting. So a lot of people would typically say like, oh, let's start getting the crew together, let's start getting the band together. But the only reason why I work that way is because I worked in distribution. So I kind of have an idea, or rather we have an idea of what it is that people like. And then we always even try and see which role do we think is time to launch somebody new. And somebody new just necessarily means like, who are we breaking out from television into movies? So we typically go from that casting, and then crew recruitment, and then obviously like budget dispersion, and then production date. So that's typically what it is. I mean, I can't believe I just like summarized like 3 months of of what it entails into that. But yeah. So for me, it's a bit different for me, and I think it's different for us because we've had that distribution background. So typically the way we handle things, like I start like developing assets before we even go to set. Like I already know what the title art needs to look like. I have an idea of what the poster is. So we would even like have a poster.
That is actually your marketing background, because it's the importance of, you already kind of figure like, okay, this is how the poster needs to be. We need to have a photographer set. We need key shots.
Exactly. So that's not everybody's way of doing things. But honestly, I think if you can, that should be a way of doing things. Like think of all these things, and then the story, you already have it sorted out. It's just now left for it to be executed. But then you have to always think of, how am I going to make this money back? How am I going to make this money back? Like as much as I'm not trying to get to the Oscars or anything, like at this point, you know. So like I know I've done the work. So like, and I think that's the problem that we do have. I think we get too ambitious sometimes. The truth of the matter is, and I don't know how many people watched Blackish. Black as F. Sorry, I don't curse. Black as F. And there was this episode on there that just drove me insane, where he's like talking to Tyler Perry and all these other black content creators, and about like how they deal with critics in their minds and all that. And I was like, and he's like, who are we to say what's a good film and what's not a good film? The film kind of made you happy, and it made you happy. So I feel like I try to take that out of my mind, because like I'm very about like, I want to have like that Cannes film or whatever. But like, it's like, well, just do what suits your market. So if somebody like standing in front of a poster with like a clown thing and is doing like that, is for your market, then let that be for your market. Like, so I mean, like, so that's what I think of now. Like, sorry, I'm going off.
I guess. And then because obviously here in Nollywood, the way it's done is when you're casting, you have to have well-known stars as well. Does that also have to be an important asset or part of the process?
Till last year, June, I would have said yes. And I say that because a movie called Bling Lagosians came out and just completely changed the narrative. Like, if you look at the lineup of that film, you didn't have like the A-listers in there. I think the person closest, or the person that was A-list, was Toyin Abraham. And she mainly even appealed to like the Southwest region than the total. So it now became a question is, if you just give Nigerians a film that looks good, with a good story, like, a good enough story, then you can actually make and have your marketing plan behind you, then you can actually make the money back that you want to make. Because even look at Sugar Rush as well. You didn't have a plethora of like big name stars, but I mean that movie went well above the 200 million mark. And to be honest, we were just like, if we hit 100 million, we'll be thankful. And then it went to do numbers. So as what I've learned now is just to have a good film. Good film meaning like good marketing, good storyline, assets look good, and then the rest of it works out. And to be honest, if the actors like give that performance, then to be honest, Nigerians will come, as long as it's a movie that they can relate to and they can connect with. So no, I think that myth has kind of like died a bit now, to be honest. Going forward,
Alpha Standard Media said, can we get conversational? FilmOne being producers as well as distributors and cinema operators, goes FilmOne, has it caused any issues?
So FilmOne actually doesn't own any cinemas. That's Film House. We are under a group, which is the Film House group. So we as production, the production house and the distribution house, obviously, you cause some controversy here and there. But to be honest, we're not the only ones doing it. There's Genesis. Genesis is also going into producing now. They have cinemas as well. They have a distribution company. And to be honest, why not? I mean, there's no rule against it. Like, I mean, and the truth of the matter is, if you found like during many years of your work and you feel like it's time to evolve, then evolve. Like, I think you just need to diversify. And even any economist would tell you, because I studied economics a bit, will tell you to diversify your portfolio. So if I find that I'm a distributor and I'm making all this money for producers with this science that I've discovered, why wouldn't I attempt in production? So to be honest, I feel like anybody that's successful will always have controversy behind them, even if like the quietest person that just wants. To be honest, I think we are quiet. We just do what we have to do. We don't do a lot of press. I mean, like Esther convinced me, and I'm like, oh my God. Like, I think we're quiet enough. So yeah, I mean, you would tend to annoy a few people here and there, but ultimately, I mean, we all have kids to feed. So I pray everybody can speak.
If they're not saying anything about you, then you're not doing anything.
Exactly. Yay. So,
let them talk.
Sorry?
I said, let them talk.
We'll be all right. Laugh. Everybody will be all right.
Okay, so that was the question. Does anybody have any more questions? We might take it to. Let me just scroll down actually. So then you have a lot of people here who are like, okay, but Silverbird 2 has distribution and production services. Okay. Theo, my brother, said, do you screen test? And what is the importance of screen testing?
So when you say screen test, like what?
Because here they do screen tests, right? So if you cast somebody, you do a screen test to see how they'll be.
Sorry, so the problem is like we're also in distribution, so I do screen tests for films. So like I do screen tests for. So yes, which to be honest, I found that people get insulted when you do ask.
Why?
Because most people feel like they have done the work and they have like a lot of movies that you can reference to. So why do they necessarily need to do screen tests? And I always have to remind them that it's about the chemistry, because I'm not just going to say, oh, this person and this person were in this film. They might not work together. So yeah, we do that a lot. I think I've pissed off a few people, but ultimately I find that the ones that like are very serious about their craft understand what it means. And to be honest, there are a lot of them, and I respect how much this industry has grown. So yeah, we take it very seriously in terms of screen testing. So yeah.
Okay. Alpha Media, those questions are on our list in terms of your favorite actors and directors and your favorite film. But what I want to do is because we literally have 5 minutes now. So I want you to talk about your new projects that are coming up that you've got producing in.
Okay. I'll try and be quick about it. So if not for the COVID-19, Face of Alakada, Face of Alakada would be in cinemas. That's actually the first film that like I created the story.
Say the name again.
Fate of Alakada. So that's Toyin Abraham's series. Someone actually created the story. I came up with the storyline. I shared it with everybody. That we had writers, so that would have been a fun one to be nervous to in the cinema. Then we have Kambili, the whole 30 yards coming out in the cinemas as well, which was interesting because we casted Nancy Sime, because most people always feel like Nancy is this sexy role type of person. But then we decided, oh wow, a generator just came on. Nigeria.
The choice of Nigeria.
Oh, is it noisy? Can you still hear me?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, good. Okay, yeah. What do you call it? So, Kambili, the whole 30 yards. And we have another one, Sanitation Day, which is a whodunit drama. That I'm very excited about. And to be honest, we have like a lot of movies coming up. Omogeto with Funke Akindele. Some other movies that I can't say what it is just yet because we haven't announced. But yeah.
But they will get the cinema run first.
Yes, it would be
in Nigeria. Do you think we'll get to see it in the UK? You know, we've been talking because. Okay.
Definitely. To be honest, Fate of Alakada was supposed to be in the UK by July.
Okay.
It came out in April. So, yeah. Yeah, that's the plan, to be honest, to get to the UK. With the help of Esther, anyways.
So, you guys, I'm really passionate about the industry and in terms of Black creatives in general. So, fingers crossed we'll get that going. So, let's get to the question quickly. I asked you this before, didn't I? Your favorite Nollywood actor or actress?
Oh my God.
Or if you want to do...
my career was started before. I've been done before it started. Oh God. So I can't really say who my favorite Nollywood actor actress is, just because I have to work with them and like somebody may curse me out later. But what I would say is people to watch out for. New talent. Say that. Yes. I mean, there are a lot actually. There's JK. He's the lead of Living in Bondage. I don't know if you ever saw
I keep hearing that. It's coming up to this. Coming on Netflix, right?
Yes, he was just amazing in it. He's one to watch out for. We have Koye Kekere Ekun. He's funny enough, he was actually on YouTube, Inspector K. Who else else am I missing out? I feel like I'm missing out people here. I just can't remember them.
Okay. What about Hollywood?
So I have a very weird list for Hollywood.
Okay.
My favorite actors are Gary Oldman, Johnny Depp, Jeremy Irons. So yeah, I have a very weird this thing. Women, Evergreen.
Okay.
Who's this lady as well? Oh God, it's just left me. You know, I had a whole list about it.
That's fine. And then favorite film, Hollywood and Nollywood.
Wow, that's a big one. Wow. To be honest, any film that is directed by Tim Burton or I never pronounce his name right. Shyamalan. Shyamalan Night. I never pronounce his name properly. He does a lot of these spooky films. Like his films are very suspense. But I think if I had to choose a favorite film, it would either be The Mummy or The Big Fish. One of them.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And my favorite Nigerian film is Arbitration. I love that film. So, yeah, it's on Netflix anyway, so if you want to watch it.
Okay. So we've got 2 minutes now.
Okay.
Let's just read some more comments. So my favorite, I would say the Nollywood film that impressed me so far to date that I saw here in the UK, King of Boys. Although it was long.
Yeah. I went to that set pregnant. So I went to that set pregnant. Like that was actually
bless. I like the fact that it was different from the Nollywood films that I've seen. And I like the twists and turns in the story.
Let me tell you something funny about King of Boys. So I got the script first because it was a production consultancy. We actually consulted on the film, and one of my bosses is the executive producer, Kede Okosa. And the script came to me, and I was on like page 30, and it's like political drama, which typically doesn't do well in the Nigerian market. So I'm reading this thing, and I drop my script. I go upstairs to his office, and I'm like, sir, I really need to see you. And he was in the middle of a meeting, and he goes, what is it, Mimi? I was like, no, I can come back later. It's fine. I'm like, no, let's talk about it now. This seems important. And I said, are you sure you want to get behind?
We've got 26 seconds. Do you want to come back? You can come back for 5 minutes after so we can finish off properly.
Oh, does it like cut off or something?
Yeah, literally.
Oh, wow.
16. So we'll come back.
Okay.
We'll come back for like 5 minutes so we can round off.
Okay. All right.
Yeah? So hold on, King of Boys.